Yeah. We'll do it down there.
Uh,
That's a good idea.
Welcome to the April School Board meeting. Before we start our official meeting, we'll start with a prayer.
If you'd like to join me, please bow your heads. Lord, we thank you that we are able to meet again today. Thank you for the beautiful flowers that are blooming and the leaves that are budding on the trees. All these signs of spring help us to remember all the wonderful things that you do for us every day if we just take a moment to look for them. As always, please be with us as we make decisions that affect our community, schools, teachers, and students. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
All right, welcome, and we will officially call this April meeting to order, and we will start with some recognition.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us in our new location. If you're looking for some music and dancing, you can check out the auditorium on your way out. It's super fun over there, so we are here this evening. We are going to start with individual student growth. We have 5 guiding principles. We try to hit this one at every board meeting, and then we are going to jump to collaboration. Robin will come forward and help us with that one. But let's start with choir. Northwood Union Web and CBIS, as I call your name, please come forward. We had some elementary students that were selected for the Indiana All-State Elementary Honor Choir. Tinsley Alsip from Northwood. Sadie Raber from Union. Brooklyn Bingham from Webb. And Cora Dobbins from CBIS. These young singers were selected through an audition process, thanks to their choir teachers and the Indiana Music Association for making this experience possible for these students. Please join me in one more round of applause of congratulations. Great job, congratulations, thanks. Franklin Community Middle School, when I call your name in a moment, please come forward. For the first time in recent school history, not only did the middle school send 9 middle school students to the state for their vocal solos, but all 9 received gold. The majority of students at the state competition are in high school, so let's congratulate these middle school students on this awesome achievement. In addition, Basil, Kenzie, Maggie, and Scarlett earned with distinction. It's a rating that means they were within 1.5 points of a perfect score. Addison Pollitt. Autumn Pollitt. Adriana Nicholson. Basil Sanchez with distinction. Emma Farley. Jay Jackson. Kenzie Smith Van Flossen with distinction. Maggie Loudon with distinction. And Scarlett Donaldson with distinction. Please join me in congratulating this group of middle school students as one. Congratulations, team. Back to practice. Our high school performers, Franklin Schools, were proudly represented by 17 students at the 2024 Indiana All-State Choir Performance in January at the Indiana Music Education Association Conference. The students had to go through a rigorous audition process and were able to sing collegiate-level music with the best singers from across the state. Congratulations to these amazing students. Madison Fleener. Elena McCrary. Danica Snyder. Melody Riff. Annabeth Kane. Brianna Gray. Ella Myers. Congratulations, Brianna. Harmony Stewart. Elena Miller. Alyssa Klein. Ella Sullivan. Grayson Schaus. Camden Mosley. Nathan Ward. Jonathan Pfeiffer. Braxton Corona. And Max Hancock. Congratulations to our high school students. Please give them one more round of applause. Congratulations. Excellent work by our choir departments. Moving on to our Central 9 Students of the Month, we have some makeup work to do, if you will. We're going to start with February. Erica Stafford, and medical assistant. Thank you. Richie Scott, automotive services. Congratulations, Ricky. Haley Sparks, veterinary science. March, Sarah Henson, work-based learning. Daxton Richards, construction trades. Lila Miles, pre-nursing. Elijah Smith, automotive services. And April, Haley Bray, medical assisting. And Riley Schletz, dental careers. Congratulations to our C9 awardees. One more time, please congratulate them. Congratulations. Bill Doty, do you want to come down and join Dr. Clendenning as we recognize the winner athletics awards? We will start with Micah Davis and Lauren Clem. If you're with us this evening, please come down. Micah and Lauren were both selected as the All-State basketball players through the Indiana Basketball Coaches Association for the 2023-2024 season. Please join me in congratulating both of those outstanding students and athletes. Jaslyn Diaz-Avalos, please come on down. Jaslyn was the state runner-up at the Indiana High School Girls Wrestling Association in the 145-pound class. Please join me again in congratulating Jaslyn. Tina Tante, come on down, please. Coach Tante. Congratulations, job well done. Great job, congratulations. Swimming and diving state tournament. Cami Quiggins placed 4th in diving. Cami with us this evening? Congratulations, Cami. Liliana Rotzlev placed runner-up in the 200-yard freestyle and 4th place in the 100-yard freestyle. Is Lily with us? And Alexander Reese, 8th place in the 100-yard breaststroke. Congratulations to our swimmers and divers at the state tournament. And now I will pass the microphone to Mrs. Betts to talk about collaboration.
Thank you. So tonight we are recognizing a group. It's called My FCS Academy. It is in its 2nd year, and it's a group that was really created to kind of bridge the gap between community members, parents, and our school district. And it's also to create ambassadors for our school district. So we bring in a group of about 20 people, and they participate in a 7-month program where we meet once a month for about 90 minutes, and they always said more time would be desirable, but we kept it to 90 minutes. It's a lot of information, a lot of Q&A, a lot of great discussion back and forth, but we're really excited because we are graduating our 2nd class tonight and just wanted to recognize them. And I know they're going to be super pumped because they get the same pencils that all of our students get. So we did have 3 who were unable to make it, so Tara Black, Carrie Coghill, and Rochelle Dillard. They could not be here, but everyone else, we've got Shannon Bedwell, Heather Crouch, Chanda DeHart, Barb Jankowski, Joe Hoagland, Kelsey Casting, Shaddy Lilly, Danielle Moline, Atlantis Richter, Carrie Schrader, Ruth Scott, Nicole Sebeski, Alex Smith, Tina Stinson, Betsy Willard, and Nicole Zolkowski.
Does anybody want to say anything?
Any Herbert will do.
We still got to get one picture. So are you
What is wrong?
are you doing paparazzi or?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get it. Hopefully it makes the.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. And if you want to stay for the entire school board meeting, you're more than welcome. But if time to go ahead and exit.
I should have kept them.
You tried. Tried to grab one for me.
Did you ever see the Men in Black when they're taking that test and the pencils break? That's what these are.
Don't tell David that. Careful. We are not paying any workman's
Huh?
comp.
I know, right? You know, what's funny is this used to be the hottest room in the school. It feels cool in here. Because this was never air conditioned. It's a nice home school. It was a nice home court advantage. Yeah.
You can't tell. The acoustics are bad anyway.
Is that right?
Okay.
Oh, this was your senior project?
I've never had one.
Wow,
David may
fantastic.
have one.
I would love one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Elena. Great
That was a
job.
lovely one. Thank you.
Hey, oh, and there's your name on there.
Yeah, I
There we
see
go.
it on there now.
I love it.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
What is
love
this?
it.
This is from?
These bookmarks that I made for my senior project, I donated them to the middle school. So
Oh, that is
Thank you very
awesome.
much.
Thank you.
Excellent.
She's really good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice work. I love dragons.
Thank you so much.
Oh, those are cool.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You guys know how to clear a room.
All right, we will begin the rest of the meeting. First up is consent agenda. Robin, any public comments? Okay. We'll move on and turn it over to Dr. Clendon.
Yeah, just a couple items. One, make sure that if you're looking through there on the personnel report, we did have an addendum this afternoon to add as well. And then the resolution for NDOT, you remember about 18 months ago, they came and proposed buying a portion of land. Also, they're going to take some and then give it back after the project. There are about 96 pages of documentation that we need you to look at, but that's what this is. And we did have Mr. Young look over that, and he verified it's the same thing that we talked about 18 months ago. So that is just now coming on the board as a resolution for that acquisition of land. We are going to receive about, Mr. Betts, what do you remember the exact? It was like, I was going to say 38,000 that we'll need to decide where you want to do it. Probably, I guess my suggestion would be we put it back into rainy day, and we would use that for land acquisition for any future use that we might need. So that's also in there. And I think Dr. Worland has one.
Chair Sappenfield, the teacher evaluation plan is included in the consent agenda item. This is not our normal timing for bringing that to the board. Normally, we do that in August and September. We are maintaining or sustaining the current plan. We made some amendments to that plan in consultation and collaboration with our FCTA and our administrative team so that we can hit the ground running in August with the plan in place, so that we don't have that 2-month delay that we normally experience.
Yeah, I did see under personnel report, we have a new hire.
We do. I believe the Trey House went through a very thorough process to select the associate principal. And tonight we're here to recommend to the board that Ryan Wagner, who is presently associate principal in Martinsville Schools, join our team. And we're looking forward to that, for Tim joining us. So thank you, Mr. Trehouse, and thank you to Ryan for his desire to come join us.
Any other comments on consent agenda? Okay, we would entertain a vote then.
Move for approval.
Second.
First and second, all those approved signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. Moving on to number 5, Superintendent.
President Suppenfield, Ryan's in attendance.
Okay.
Thank you, Ryan, for coming. Is there anything you would like to say?
Express my gratitude to Dr. Fleming and Steve as well, and to the board, community, for everyone entrusting me with this opportunity. I'm very excited to be here in Franklin. I'm looking forward to it. Steve's probably getting tired of my texts. I keep asking, what else can I be doing right now? I want to keep going, get going, and he's just like, calm down, it's good, we'll be fine. So I'm really excited. Thank you all, I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to being Grizzly Cub.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan, it's good to hear that you're still texting, because when I did call for reference to your president superintendent, and he did say, the only thing you're going to know is he's going to text and email a lot. So congratulations.
All right, superintendent reports.
The first up, I've asked Mr. Betts to come and talk about the eclipse follow-up. It was a pretty majestic and amazing event that took place, and Benji's here to share.
All right, thank you. I always forget this part. Eclipse Day, 1 week ago now. Wow, yeah, it seems like a lot longer ago already. We had a great day, beautiful weather. I think the county and the state did a great job of making everybody realize watching from your home. We did not have the turnout we wanted to, but it was still a really cool turnout for us, and we had a great day. No, let's try this one. There we go. We put down, here were some pictures of the visitors we had from the eclipse. The one thing I'll tell you about the people that came, they were phenomenal. A lot of families, a lot of people who were here to just have an open, safe area was what most people said. I talked to them as they came in. I might have had some people pushing me because I like to talk to everybody that came in and find out where they were from, who they brought with them, and eventually may have been told, hey, let them go set up. But they were fun to talk to, and they were really great people. And we're going to show you some more of this here in just a few minutes, or maybe less than that. We had people from everywhere. I wrote cities down and then some states because some people just told us the state they came from. But we had people from all over the Midwest, South, even out as far as Montana and Utah. That came in and just wanted to see the eclipse and have a place they could watch it, and have restroom access and food access and be close to downtown for those that were at the middle school campus as well. The guy from Utah was great. He was in a hotel room in Indianapolis, flew in and just said, I looked around and Franklin looked like a cool place to come watch it, so I came on down. I mean, so just even things like that were just neat to hear from people. The guy in this picture brought his telescope with him and set it up with a camera at the bottom. And the picture of the eclipse in the beginning and then the one you'll see at the end again were ones that he took of the eclipse, but he brought a camera that had the viewfinder on it so that people could come. He had kids all day coming up and looking at it, adults, maybe some employees, including myself, that wanted to see this, and he had it watching that the entire time, going through all the phases, which was really, really cool to see, and just a neat guy to talk to about all of this. We sold around 100 spots, which raised about $5,000 total for us. And that money we have talked about going to programs like Travel for the Students and defraying costs for families for some of those extracurricular things that we do throughout our district. So again, the money going back to the kids in our district to help them and their families. And a lovely picture of us all looking at the sun. Safely with our glasses on. And again, a picture from the gentleman who came with us, or came down to view this, that I added at the end here. Just a great day. We couldn't have asked for a better day in Franklin to view it. For those of you that got to see it and be a part of any of the festivities, thank you for doing that. And we appreciate you all taking part and listening to this as well. Thank you. Any questions? Sorry, I didn't say any questions. Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, the board, President Suppenfield and the rest of the board members, I want to thank Mr. Betts publicly. He spent a lot of hours getting us ready, thinking that we're going to have a lot more people, but the attention to detail and the readiness that was presented on that day was amazing. And he did talk to everybody that walked in. And so that was good. Yeah. Oh, and that's right. So Benji was at a meeting and towards the last few days, and someone handed him a packet and said, tell Robin she's done a really good job organizing this. I know Mr. Best did a great job, so thank you, Benji, for doing that.
Thanks, Robin. Appreciate it. Tina, you're up next.
Well played.
I think you're up.
I thought you were going to cue me up.
I thought I did.
All right, well, I have first quarter financials to present tonight. Looking at that first spreadsheet, this is as of March 31st, so about 25% through the calendar year, which is our budget year. I typically go all the way to the right to the percentage spent, and you're probably going to see hopefully between 25 and 30% in that category. We did have an extra pay in February, so sometimes that skews our numbers a little bit. I usually try to offer an explanation for anything above that 25% mark. So if you go down to the remediation line, we're at 34.32. We would have an extra pay in there for teachers. This is mainly the reading cadre. But I think I underfunded that a little bit. We have some of our higher paid teachers in those very important roles, so I think this was probably underfunded to begin with. So hopefully we can capture some savings in a different category. And then right below that, payments to other government units is at 47%, and that's because our agreement with Earlywood is dissolving at mid-year, so it makes sense that we've already incurred half of those expenses. Down to the 100% in red, those are non-certified stipends, and that's something that we typically don't fund, but instead draw from fund balance. So that's why we're at 100% on that one. We've also got 100% on equipment purchases. That was just a one-time fencing project, so that is done. Going down to support services, general admin, 28.44%. That's just from that extra pay in February. Down a couple lines from there, the 31.35 in transportation. We're always over in transportation, so that's pretty typical. In fact, that's pretty good at this time of the year. So, and then 62% for professional services. Dr. C and I have had some conversation in the last few weeks about looking at those contracts that we have and looking at ways we might be able to reduce spending in that category. One thing that was added this year was the policy analytics contract, and they are helping us out with forecasting and cash flow. So money well spent, but we'll definitely keep looking at that and see, try to figure out ways to cut some of those expenses. So if you go down to that green line, we're at 20%. That's a little bit misleading because we haven't made our mortgage payment yet. But if you go over to the next spreadsheet with the nice colorful graphs, on the left-hand side shows our cash flow results. And it looks as though we've gone from 11.5 million in fund balance for all four categories to 7.8, which we have, but keep in mind that up to this point, we haven't collected a lot of property taxes. So that's why it looks as though our cash flow has declined significantly. But we are, when you look at the entire year, the forecast for the entire year, we're still on target for the fund balance goal that I'll talk about a little later. If you go to the right side, that kind of summarizes what we looked at on the first spreadsheet. In the ed fund, we're at 26% spent, in the operations 27, and referendum 26. So it's textbook. We're right on target. Can I answer any questions? That
Thank
concludes
you.
my report.
All right, appreciate it. Item C is the CORG
Yeah.
Democracy Quest.
Principal Rand is here, and IU has asked us to participate in a quest, AI quest. So she's here to present what that means and what it would mean for us in participation.
So, Indiana University actually received a grant from the Department of Defense, and they got to target whatever they wanted to do, and they wanted to tackle civics. And civics is a sixth grade requirement in the state of Indiana, so it fits pretty nicely with us. One of our sixth grade teachers, Whitney McCarthy, her brother actually attends Maurer School of Law, and the law school is partnering in part of IU to develop this entire program. So, IU received this grant from the Department of Defense to create this civics curriculum that is virtual reality. And we were approached by IU to participate in it. Because civics is required, we thought, wow, we're really going to dive into this and maybe show some of the civics curriculum in a different way. Well, we got a little too excited, too fast, because we're actually just testing the technology. They're asking us to help them in the process of testing technology. So our students will be testing really the virtual reality goggles and how you actually manipulate this virtual reality curriculum. Our students will attempt to navigate around the city of Philadelphia. They'll determine if they can enter a location and interact with a resident of Philadelphia from the 1700s, and then they'll give feedback on the ease of completing the assignments and the tasks that they're given. So our sixth grade civics teachers will be able to participate in an after-school training session, so they actually become familiar with these virtual reality goggles, so they can kind of, or headsets I should say, so they can help the students through the process. And if the board permits, the teachers will be able to be compensated by Indiana University and the Department of Defense $100 for the training and then the after survey process that they'll participate in. So really, I'm just here to tell you and ask you to let our students participate in this opportunity and then to see if it's okay to allow IU to compensate our teachers for the time spending on this project. Questions? Okay.
Sounds fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have Champions 101.
Mr. Doty is here to present on Champions 101.
Thank you, Mr. Sappenfield. Appreciate that. Before I get started, I'm actually give you this. This is actually a poster that's down in the athletic wing. But that QR code is on the second slide, but I checked it out today and it doesn't work very well. So use that QR code for all of you up there if you want to log in and create an account in Champions 101. Champions 101 is a curriculum that we partnered with, developed by Travis Doherty. He is an educator and former head coach at Mount Vernon High School, basketball coach there. He developed this curriculum over time and is working with actually, I think now everybody in the Mid-State Conference, all the schools in the Mid-State are using this curriculum, but he's really expanding throughout the state, and it's really about, there's a leadership component to it, but it's the mental side of education-based athletics. And I'm sure you've all heard that term, education-based athletics, but we probably think about that, or our community thinks about that through the lens of, because we're in high school or middle school, and there's an academic eligibility component to our sports, which is true. That's one piece of it, but education-based athletics also means that life lessons. What are you getting out of sports in general? What's the secondary thing, aside from just wanting to win? And winning is great, and we certainly want to win. I'm not here to say that winning isn't a part of what we want to do, but what's beyond that? What else is there? There has to be a bigger purpose. So this curriculum helps us do that. We'll there. You can see this next page. I won't read everything through there, but that's really just in a nutshell what Champions 101 is out there to do. It's somewhat of a cultural shift in the mindset of parents, of those student athletes, and there's also a coach component to it. And again, it's just really there to help us create that bigger purpose through athletics and why we play the game. And so on that page that you have there, it's this one basically right here, but then I added a QR code to it. It's this poster. When you look at, if you were to create an account, you'll see students, these are all the titles of the lessons that are within that curriculum. There's very similar ones there for the parents and coach as well, but we have targeted our freshmen and sophomores so far, and then I also utilize Mike Leonard. I've partnered with him to help lead our leadership council, our student advisory council, and so we meet once a month. We actually meet again this Thursday, and so we're going through these components along with some other things that he has brought to the table as well. So that's what Champions 101 is really about. It's creating that bigger purpose through education-based athletics, not just winning. If you watched the Masters this year and saw Scotty Scheffler win, and then his press conference afterwards, winning didn't define him. He wanted to be. It was all about being a better dad, a better husband, a better teammate, a person off the golf course, and that's what this is really trying to help us navigate through. So, if you have any questions, be happy to answer any. Really, right now we have 179 logins, people that have created accounts. Some of those are parents, some are coaches. Most of those are freshmen and sophomores. Not to say that seniors, the upperclassmen aren't important, but again, if this is a cultural change, I'm trying to hit those younger kids first as we progress throughout, and we'll do that. We will actually touch base with the juniors in May. I've been bringing them down during coach period. Mr. Ahaus is kind enough to let us bring the entire student athletes from a grade down, and Mike Leonard addresses them. We have them create an account and then talk a little bit about Champions 101. So we're going to continue this. This isn't just a one-year thing. This is every year, and we're going to continue to roll things out. Our hope is this next school year, Coach Leonard is actually going to meet with specific teams and take some time with coaches aren't really going to like to lose their practice time, but if we can build in maybe 20 to 30 minutes of a practice time for specific teams, we're going to get Coach Leonard in front of them and talk about it more on a team level as well. So that's kind of our next phase of the rollout. So happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Curriculum looks amazing. How do you measure like the success of something like this?
Yeah, I talked to Travis about that. It's really, if you through obviously the numbers of kids enrolled and creating an account, but it's really more of what you see in practice, how they carry themselves. It's going to be subjective. I don't know exactly how an objective way to measure success, but it's really more about if we see kids, how they act and portray themselves and represent Franklin through sportsmanship, through leadership, those types of things.
Mr. Doty, one suggestion you might do is kind of pre-post test the kids. Ask them going in, what do you rate a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, love of the game, and see if we have any difference. Mr. Kirby can help us run through some stats after we get enough data to help with that.
Well, and that's actually the first component. They do an inventory assessment when they first create an account, where they reside on a Likert scale. So they have that. He has that built in, and then so the post op is there. So yeah.
Maybe even like an internal award, to recognize kids who do this.
Yep.
Very good.
Thank you for
Appreciate
doing
it.
this.
Yep, great.
Don't go too far. No, just in a few minutes.
All right, we have on to action items. Any public comments? Nope. So first up would be the K-12 virtual school proposal.
Yes, Chair Sappenfield, there have been no changes to the proposal. Just a couple of things I do want to clarify and add. I think the question was asked last time about the number of students, and I can't remember if I shared this last month or not, but the statistic given to us for the fall semester from the, I think 5 or 6 virtual schools the Indiana Online is tracking for Franklin, they've been tracking our data the last 3 years, is 129 students from the fall semester. The spring data I do not have yet because their ad deadline has not happened yet. So they actually sent me a postcard today with some of that data. So we do have some data on students that are in different environments, whether it's a different district or in an online space. Again, this includes the partners. We are already partnering with Edmentum. EdOptions Academy is another platform in that Edmentum family. I did want to let everyone know, for Indiana Online, their contracts I have sent to Roger. He has responded. He had asked about FERPA and some indemnification language. Their contracts are in kind of a JOP form design. So she was kind enough to send me some versions that I could send to Roger. So we're in the process of reviewing those. Legally, he sees no reason why we could not partner with them, but we are trying to clarify that language. They are partnered with CIESC, one of our current partners, and that enables us to access certain discounts for some of the courses.
Any questions?
Yeah, one, so have we thought about, if we're diving into this, how are we gonna market? So are we gonna go out and get a marketing firm? How are we gonna build that communication?
So that's a great question. I know that Mrs. Betts and Dr. Clendenning have already been meeting with some consultants on how we can start that marketing.
Okay.
I believe we're ready to go with some pieces. We already have the website ready to go. Matt has been working on the registration form for us as well. We have a handbook in design, so that will come to you probably next month as well. So we're already thinking about that and have been actually for the last few months.
Thanks, Benji.
One thing also as we get ready to do this, we are looking at getting a unique ID number. And one of the clarifying points I want to make sure that Mr. Doty and I talked about here just earlier today. When a student enrolls virtually, they will be excluded from any participation athletically at the high school. I think Dr.
Correct.
Worland talked about that last time, but I want to make sure everybody's clear on that. And if not, they'll partner with Mr. Ahaus and just be a high school student, and they can participate. And if you remember, Steve came to us, and we've got alternative ed plans and opportunities for kids. And they're going to continue to be the gatekeeper. We want kids to graduate. We want kids to be successful. So under the program that Steve presented to us, we're going to have some multiple options. But I want to make it clear that if you want to participate athletically, you must stay enrolled in Franklin Community High School.
And that's for high school. So
Yes.
K through 8, we are going to allow students to participate in athletics or other clubs or extracurricular activities and other extracurriculars at the high school, just not IHSA athletics for 9 through 12.
And are we aware, are there other schools looking to do this locally? Or is this unique to us right now?
I just sent the link, I think, Friday or Saturday to the schools that are accredited by IDOE. Robin and I both looked at that list. As far as K through 12 allowing more than 100 students, within what kind of radius would you say? Maybe the closest, Cloverdale Union may be the closest.
Yeah, we really market this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm excited for this. I move to approve.
First, second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, thank you. Next up is the environmental science curriculum resource.
That one's mine too. We have a new environmental science course. We talked about this at the last meeting. We've struggled, and Steve had a teacher here with us, Mr. Billings, last time, finding a curriculum for that new course. So we presented at the last meeting some materials that we found that align with all of the state standards that we want to empower our teachers with so that they don't have to continue doing everything from scratch. So that's the request that's before you. There have been no changes since the last meeting.
Gotcha. Any questions? Entertain motions?
Move to approve.
First,
I'll second.
2 seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, thank you. We have the resolution authorizing transfer of real estate.
Thank you. Natalie, if you could open up Exhibit B, please. Last month we came and we talked about the tennis courts on Madison. And through research that Mr. Young did, we realized that we also own the Booker T. Washington School. And we didn't know that. I don't think the city knew that because they're the ones paying everything right now for this. So tonight, we are asking that we join both of those properties and gift them to the city. We have a resolution available to us from the Board of Public Works where they've said they will accept them. Mr. Young has been working with the city attorney, Ms. Gray, on this. And so tonight, I'm here to ask really two things. First, join the Booker T. Washington School with the tennis courts that we talked about last time, and then gift the city with this. There are 4 different items on the resolutions. Mr. Younghans, Mr. Younghans, that's a blast from my past. Mr. Young, do we need to take each resolution independently, or can we do them together?
The resolution as a body can
Okay.
be adopted.
Thank you. So at this time, I'd recommend that we move forward with the resolution authorizing the transfer of real estate to the city of Franklin for the tennis courts and the Booker T. Washington School.
All right.
I'll move for approval.
First,
Second.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to the resolution of transfer rainy day funds to purchase Earlywood property.
Yes, this resolution stems from the Earlywood dissolution agreement that was already approved by the board. We are just kind of prepping for the closing of that property. And one of those steps is to get the funds from rainy day to operations because we can't actually write a check from rainy day. So this will be a transfer of ownership. The estimated costs are $349,414, and that will be to pay the other partner districts their proportionate share of the value of the property. So I wrote the resolution for an amount not to exceed $400,000. That way, if anything comes up, I wouldn't have to come back to the board. But any difference that we see will be transferred back to rainy day after we close in June. So I am requesting that we transfer $400,000 of rainy day funds that are earmarked for land acquisition to the operations fund for the Earlywood purchase.
Any questions?
Move for approval.
First,
I'll second.
second, all those approved signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you, Tina. Next up, resolution for tuition assistance.
Yes, so we talked about this a little bit. We've been working on this for months. I'm super excited about this. We are proposing that we take a portion of our 10X grant funding and allocate that towards advanced degrees and certifications. We had 4 applicants for the 23-24 school year. One of those is a high school teacher that once he completes this program will be credentialed to teach ACP psychology. So great progress towards getting our students more of that college credit before they graduate from high school. It should probably be noted that it's considered a benefit, so the IRS allows this to be non-taxable up to $5,250. Anything over that we will report on a W-2 as a taxable benefit. I worked with an attorney from Ice Miller to make sure that we were compliant with IRS and the Department of Labor and all of that. So I'm confident that what we've got in place is compliant and is a great value for our employees. I should probably note that if an employee separates employment from us prior to the 5-year mark, after we've funded this benefit, they will have to pay back the proportionate share depending on when they leave FCS. So I also included the guidelines in a different document in addition to the resolution, and that explains kind of all the detail work that goes behind the scenes. But we're super excited about this. This will be a great benefit for those certified and non-certified employees that want to pursue advanced degrees and certifications.
Entertain motions?
Well,
Any
I have
questions?
I have one question, and I may have just missed this in here, but so for the education stuff, can they just each year reapply for the 10X grant, or are they?
When they apply the first time, we
Right.
commit for the entire
For the
degree or
entire
certification.
education thing? Okay,
Yes,
very
they won't
good.
have to reapply.
Okay, I must have.
They'll need to get a C or better in each course,
Perfect,
but other than that, we've committed to the entire program.
wonderful. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody leaves in the middle of the program, same thing
Mm-hmm.
applies.
Yes.
Repayment.
Okay, I'll move for approval.
First.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Financial goals?
Yep.
Tina, you back up?
That's also me. So we had some great conversation at our February board retreat about setting some financial goals. That's also something that Baker Tilly recommended that we officially sign into resolution what goals those would be. That will be beneficial when we go in front of Standard & Poor's for our bond rating. So hopefully I've captured what your intent was. I think the first resolution is regarding the debt service rate. As you're aware, we ended up kind of forcing our debt service rate down to the 79-cent mark this year. And when we discussed at the retreat, it was determined that 74 cents would be a good target rate with a tolerance of a nickel either up or down. So kind of a range from 79 cents to 69 cents. So the strategy would be to make sure that when we sit down each year to request our tax rate, that we stay within that range. So this just makes it official.
Okay. Any changes on the year-end balance target?
I'm sorry, on the
second.
The year-end balance.
Oh, year-end balance. The second one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sure, I can go over that too. The fund balance target was determined to be 15%, and that will include the ed fund, the operations fund, and the rainy day fund. Those balances divided by our total budget, with a target of always being at 15%. So our financial decisions will be, that will come into play when we go to make those decisions for salary increases and projects and things like that. We ended the 23 year at 17.4%, so we're in good shape there, and we're trending at about 18.9% in 24. Now, having said that, we are also spending down that fund balance and debt service to keep our rate down. So that will play into this target, and then any kind of stipends or pay raises that we do through the negotiation process or non-certified will also play into that. But this gives us a great target to hit.
And there's an error for some reason on this document. We'll get it corrected and send it out. So really, just to reiterate, the three funds are education fund operating balance, the operating balance of the operating balance, and then also what is in the rainy day. And we did not include the referendum or debt service. And so we'll continue to place it on the dashboard for you to see, but it, unfortunately, something happened as we translate it into your documents. So we'll make sure we get that corrected. But I also want to highlight that Tina gave good news throughout this agenda. And normally when she presents, she's giving us bad news. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yay. It's only March.
It's only March.
Can you give her a pencil?
It's April.
Oh, she needs a pencil. She does.
Yeah, I've never gotten a pencil.
There you go.
I've been here 5 years and haven't gotten a pencil.
Well, there we go.
Thank you. My life is complete.
Your 5-year pencil.
With that, we would ask that you approve the financial goals as written.
I move to approve.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Thanks, Tina.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well done.
Got some discussion items, it looks like, on here. First up is BSN Sports Rewards Program.
This is a discussion item. Hopefully we'll be back next month for seeking your approval for this. As you may be aware that we are currently under contract to June of this year with Adidas and Kratz Sports. This is obviously a different vendor that we would like to go to. Would be BSN, would be the supplier, and then become a Nike school. Basically, our student athletes would be wearing. They would be required to wear Nike when they're participating in a contest. So, very similar structure between our previous agreement and this one. From a discount standpoint, percentage discount off of the price for apparel, and uniforms, and shoes, and that kind of thing. This does two things. This one, the BSN contract would do is we would also receive discounts off of equipment that they sell, and then also there is a much greater incentive program with this for the athletic department, for our teams. So if you read through there, there would be, if you make it to the state finals, you get $1,000 back to the team from BSN for certain apparel items and things like that. So it's structured, puts us in a really good position financially to be able to give our student athletes the equipment that they need. I would also say that, when I talk to the kids, they all want Nike stuff, equipment, apparel, and things. So this is, I feel like kids don't get to make the final decision, but they played a big role in this. They kept on me for the last 2 or 3 years. When's that contract up? When's that contract up? And so we looked at them both, and this puts us in a pretty good spot. So happy to answer any questions, but
I would add one other feature that this company provides, a lot of curriculum resources for character development as well as mental health. Bill and I have been exchanged, especially one for female athletes in the mental health domain. Right now, Brownsburg is piloting it, and we would have the opportunity to participate in this as well. So it's another option. Not only are they giving monetary to help support our athletes, we're talking about some curricular aspects to help support our athletes as well. So it's a nice addition as well. I want to thank Bill for bringing this to us.
Has there been any other challenges with Adidas, like delivery or products?
You know, everything for the past 2 or 3 years has been a challenge. The one thing I would say BSN probably has a leg up on, they have warehousing here locally in Indianapolis, whereas Adidas does not. And so if you buy those stock uniforms, Nike stock uniforms, you're going to, and I've purchased things from BSN over the years, you know, some different equipment, and they've been, they've never let us down basically, you know, when it comes to a delivery standpoint. So we think that would also put us in a better position as well. Yeah. All right, thank you.
You're up again.
Yeah. Next thing is, again, hopefully we'll be seeking your approval on this at the next at the May board meeting. This is for some artwork. If you paid attention to the NBA All-Star Game, or even maybe went downtown Indy, the Indy Art Council, they secured local artists to create these very large basketballs. These things are 7 feet tall, 4 feet in diameter, and they took various basketball themes from around the state of Indiana, and the artist painted used that theme to paint that basketball. And Franklin actually had 2 down there. One was for the Wonder Five, and then the other one was for George Crow. As soon as I saw them, I contacted the folks at the Art Council and I said, how can we get these? I would love to be able to display those at our high school. And I thought I was going to get both of them, but Franklin College, you know, we can't be greedy. Franklin College is going to get the Wonder Five ball, but we have the opportunity to secure the George Crow ball. George Crow was the first Indiana Mr. Basketball in 1939. Your middle school baseball field here is named after him. He's a professional baseball player. Actually played basketball, football, and baseball professionally in the 40s and 50s. So 1939 graduate from Franklin High School. And it's interesting. It's one of the things that's on my project list. If you look at my projects, and it's been on there for a couple years, is how to do something for George Crow and bring him out to the forefront. When you walk down our Hall of Fame, you'll see his face up there, just like every other student athlete, you know, in our Walk of Fame. But I wanted to bring him out to the forefront, and it's very apropos that we're able to get this ball, should you approve this. The one thing in here that I would tell you that we asked Roger to look through the agreement. He suggested that we contact our insurance agent. We did that because if there's any damage, we're responsible for any upkeep, maintenance on this ball. We did contact Jim Wise. As you probably know, our deductible is $75,000 on our property damage. So I think that's just something for the board to consider is, do you want to add some type of rider, special insurance policy on this product, or just know if something were to happen to it, we're just going to have to pay for it. I think that was our feel from the administration would be, hey, if something were to get damaged, maybe vandals, you know, we'll do what is necessary to protect the ball and the artwork. But things happen, we know that, and so we just have to make sure that we do maintain them. So my thought is, when you first walk in our athletic foyer, you look at all of our main state and conference trophy case. That behind that is the concession stand. If you look to the right, kind of leads you down the hall to start our Walk of Fame. I would really like to create this George Crow Memorial right there corner leading down that hall. That's where I'd like to put it. So this ball would anchor that, and then I'd like to maybe even work with Johnson County Museum. I think they have some artifacts maybe they would put on loan as well. We create a trophy case right there for George Crowe. Pull his picture down, put it right there as well. So that's my thought on it. I think it'd be a neat piece to be able to display. Happy to answer any questions.
One other thing to note, we do need to bring it from Indy to us. That is one thing that's going to be required. Is that correct?
Right, that is correct. And I apologize, I meant to call Lance Marshall over at the college to see what their plans were. Maybe the two of us can work together to bring both balls back to Franklin. Assuming they haven't received theirs yet either, but I know he's coaching baseball right now, so hopefully we can get in touch and work this out. So,
Okay.
Yep.
Thank
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. All right, we have the policies and guidelines.
Yes, over the next 3 board meetings, we're going to be finishing up the transition from Neola to CCH&A's policies. Until tonight, we have several for you to review. One that I want to highlight, though, is F-176, unpaid lunches. This one substantially changes how we do lunch, especially on the unpaid side. We would say the kids could incur up to $10 in debt and still receive the meal. From $10 to $25, they would still receive a meal, but we would begin continuing to notify them that a substantial change could become. And at $25 that they owe us, they would, in the way this policy is written, they would revert to getting like a peanut butter sandwich and a milk. They would still get nutrition, but it wouldn't be the A lunch. That's a change, because right now, if you go in debt in our lunch, you can just keep going in debt and you get a lunch, which is what the subsidy, the government lunch is. That's a substantial change. Additionally, it also says that after 30 days, we notify collections for the first time with regard to this account. So that's something we need to think about. I've asked Tina and I talked about this today. She's going to talk to Mrs. Edwards about that, but that is a change. As you know, over the last several months, we'll see anywhere between $7,000 and $11,000 in debt. And we've been very fortunate to have partners come along and pass checks to us to help offset that account. But that is a change I think we need to think about as you move forward.
Where is that delinquency mostly? Is that, K through 4? Is that all over the place?
You know what, I would probably say it's K-8, because at the high school, there's still some, but it's not nearly much. The other thing is, one of the things that happens, like in K-8, a student will qualify for reduced, and even though they pay less for that, they're still getting like a milk and some of those things that we have to charge for, and that's where that's being seen. But it is K-8 where we see most of it. So no decision tonight, but we would ask you to consider that one.
Any public comments on discussed items? Nope. Embrace board or administrative comments. Any comments from the board? All right, any administrative comments?
Just a few comments. You'll note on the calendar that next Friday, April 26th, is Senior Project Day, and I believe they were still looking for a few senior judges. So if anyone still needs to do that, Mr. Hale, is that still correct? You still need a few more people in the panel? Okay, so if that's something you're interested in, please reach out to Mr. Ahaus or Ms. Weedman, and we'll make sure you guys get a chance to do that on the 26th. It is an e-learning day for our students, K through 12. The prom is that night, also on the 26th. End of the year recognition, May the 6th, here at the middle school. And then coming up quickly, we have Saturday, May 25th, graduation. And just a quick reminder, we're going to, I think, continue to do graduation like we've done in the past, as far as if you want to give a diploma out, you will just intercede during that time. Otherwise, Mr. Ahouse will present you in an alphabetical order or some fashion, and he'll designate the group that you have. So that way, we won't have a whole jumbled up mix of kids, and you'll just be the group that'll be responsible for passing, to step in, shake the student's hand, give them their diploma, and then back out, okay? So that's the format we'll continue to use on that. Now, we all thank you.
All right. Entertain adjournment.
We're out of here.
Guess that's the first and second right there. So, thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate it. Thank you.